Season of Discovery is out, and there is a ton of new stuff. I'm talking new class abilities, new quest lines, new items, a new raid, and so much more. So in the first week of launch, I played over 100 hours, and this is what I did. In the first hour, I didn't actually get to play. I sat in the queue and waited for an hour because the server I rolled on had all the streamers on it. But I wanted to play RP, PvP either way, so I wasn't going to let it get in my way. I decided I wanted to try out a Warlock because, well, I'd never played a Warlock and I was bored of being a hunter, and the Warlock, of course, had all the new abilities, including the metamorphosis tank, which, by the way, nobody knew how to get. Once I finally got into the game, it was a lag fest and so much competition for mobs. Like, it genuinely took so long to get the first hit on the level 5 boss in the starting zone. But I also found my first new rune ability, Haunt. And after I was done with the Valley of Trials, I continued Durotar's questing to level up. I'd also gathered 2 items that I'd used to summon a rare enemy, and a mage stole the tag as soon as I summoned it, and I got very upset. But luckily, another Warlock invited me, and I was able to get my next rune ability, Demonic Grace. I found a frozen Maruka, and with some other players, we unfroze him and got another rune, Chaos Bolt, which would end up probably being my best rune, besides obviously Metamorphosis. But nobody knew how to get Metamorphosis yet, so at the time, this was the one to get. After that, though, I finished off all the quests in Durotar, and the next morning, I went and got my Voidwalker minion. And then I headed to the Barrens. I spent the next 2 hours competing for mob tags and mushrooms, and I also ran all the way to Thunderbluff to get the flight point. I went to the Undercity to grab a quest, and then I did some more questing in the Barrens before doing my first dungeon, Ragefire Chasm. And we completed Ragefire Chasm, and I went back and turned in all the quests. Then I went right back to the Barrens to keep on questing, fighting Harpies and Venture Company. And then Harpies again. I did a little bit of questing in the Stone Talon Mountains until I found a group who wanted to head into the Wailing Caverns to do that dungeon. And when we were in the Wailing Caverns, we got a little bit lost, so it took a little bit longer than I'd hoped, but afterwards I went right back to Stone Talon Mountains for some questing. I did most of the low-level quests in the zone, like the Escort and all the Windseer Crag quests. And then I went back to everyone's favorite place, the Barrens, to do even more questing. And I did that questing for multiple hours. I also hopped on this Quilboar shrine, and when I gave my life to my minion, I got another new rune ability, Master Channeler, my overpowered self-healing ability. Then I went and I sucked the soul out of a goblin, and I gave that soul to a dog statue, who gave me another rune, Shadow Bolt Volley. After that, I got another group together and did another run of the Wailing Caverns. But I was bored of Wailing Caverns after that, so I went for the next dungeon, Shadow Fang Keep. Since none of us were over-leveled or over-geared, it was quite the battle with Archmage Arugal. And now after this, I was feeling good, and I was pretty tired of questing, and I wanted to do a little bit of dungeon spamming. So I spent the next 7 hours straight just spamming Shadowfang Keep over and over again for 2 goals. 1, to get some gear, and 2, to get to level 25. And that's exactly what I did. At the end of 7 hours, I was level 25. I had the robes, I had the belt, I had all the stuff from Shadowfang Keep, and I was ready to at least attempt doing the raid. I was finally in the new raid, and the first boss had some struggles, but we killed it on the 3rd try. And the 2nd and 3rd bosses, they were a joke. They were nothing. There was there even a mechanic? I don't even know. The mechanic is kill it and then it's dead. Now the 4th boss, however, that's where the, first real challenge hit in this raid, and this group, they couldn't do it. They gave up. We failed. It didn't matter. It was just a random group I found in the LFG chat, and the raid was going to reset the next day anyways. I started the next day by heading to Hillsborough Foothills for another rune, and I messed up and I used this bomb in the wrong spot, so I had to go back and waste 5 more gold to get my next rune, Lake of Fire. Really good AoE. And at this time, I was invited by a group of warlocks to join them in something. It was day 4, and they had not found the Metamorphosis rune yet, but part of it was figured out how to do. The group of warlocks summoned me to Dark Shore, and we raided this tower, killing every enemy inside to find our item, the Bow of Altak. Or, I don't know what this is called. Yeah. We then went to Red Ridge Mountains, killing all alliance we saw along the way in this most epic journey. And once we got to Red Ridge Mountains, we fought this elite warlock in a cave, and he gave us the rune of Incinerate and a really good DPS. But Incinerate was only part of the reason why we were there, because we were there for another tower in Red Ridge, which we raided, and we found the other item we were looking for, the Orb of Death. Now after this, I was able to get another group together to try the raid one more time. Now this group again didn't get much farther than the last one, but we beat the boss that we were struggling on in the last group, so that was good, and I actually got some pieces of loot this time around. I got some gloves and a nice cool wizard hat. The next day, I started off by trying out the Ashenvale PvP event, and I'll be honest, I still have no idea how it works. I went and did the dead mines just for the hell of it, and then I realized there was a pretty good ring that dropped there, and I kind of wanted it. So I spent the next 3 hours spamming dead mines, and I eventually got the ring, but I lost to a hunter before I got it. And then I was going to try to do Wailing Caverns to try to get another ring, but as soon as we were in there and getting going, the servers crashed. Now, you remember the items that we got from Darkshore and Red Ridge Towers? Well, this guy in the Barrens, he wants to fix them. He just needs a large fragment from Shadowfang Keep and 3 small fragments from Twilight Acolytes. And we got both of them. And then the group I was raiding with the day before, we went back in and we kept smacking around those bosses until we got to Twilight Lord Kelris, the big evil warlock villain. And this guy, he whooped our butt. We got him close a couple times, but we could not beat him. And that's where we had to call it. But now after this raid was over, I teamed up with another group of warlocks again. And we headed to this place where we had to kill high-level demons to collect their blood. And once we all collected enough blood from these high-level demons, we could start a ritual. And I don't know what happened in this ritual, but a weird wizard man spawned in. And he told us to go back to the man in the Barrens, and once we got back to the man in the Barrens, he gave us the metamorphosis rune. And I now had the best ability in the game. That's right, I beat the game. And as soon as I got it, I went to Ashenvale looking for some trouble. And the next day, as soon as I got online, there was a huge PvP battle going on in Ashenvale, and I needed to get there. And it was really laggy, but there was a lot of people, and it was really epic anyways. I wanted to try tanking, so I ran some Wailing Caverns with a group, and it was pretty fun. After this, I did a little bit of questing. Then I went and learned tailoring, because there was an epic pair of boots that I could craft at a certain level. So I leveled my tailoring all the way up that I could, and then I bought a potion that would let me talk to dead people, and then I found a dead person to talk to. And now this dead guy, he was the man who crafted the armor of the evil warlock villain from the raid. I should beat the crap out of him. He helped the guy who killed us. But then for some reason I went inside the raid and I got these scales from the old Sarakis who was laying up there dead. And then I was broke and I needed money for materials, so I went and quested around a little bit for some gold. And always in my meantime, I played some Peggle. And then eventually I got the trinket that I needed and I went back into the raid. And I equipped the trinket so that I could go into this foggy water and not die, and I looted a chest for the box. I then took the box to a giant crystal in the Alterac Mountains and destroyed it, and then a shadowy figure appeared, and he gave me the main material I needed to craft the epic purple boots. Now, I didn't have any gold, really, and I needed a lot of gold to get these materials because I was not farming them. So, I just quested, and I did a lot of questing in Hillsbroad Foothills, Stone Talon Mountains, all over the place, and I quested for about 8 hours to get like 20 gold. But it was worth it because now I was able to make my purple boots. And the raid tonight was fine, I guess. I didn't get to raid with the group I wanted to, but it's whatever. It was a group of randoms. And we got up to Twilight Lord Kelris once again, and they gave up after like 4 wipes. I was pretty upset. Now, the next day, I didn't really have much to do. I just wanted to do the raid to get the good loot, and that's about it. I had quests I needed to do from the raid too, but I just needed my group, and I needed to finish the raid. So I didn't have anything else really to do, so I just did a lot of PvP in Warsong Gulch. And I did a little bit of RPing since we are on an RP server after all. But to my surprise, later on that night, that group from the night before formed again. And we went back. And we actually, after many attempts, we defeated Twilight Lord Kelris. And on hour 100, we went and we fought the final boss of the raid. And after our first pull, the tank's power went out and he never came back. So yeah, that's me. I'm the loser who in the first week and 100 hours in Season of Discovery could not beat the raid. But hey, you know what? I'm fine with that. I'd argue I'm fine because I beat the harder boss anyways. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. I'm thinking about doing this again with another class. Let me know what you guys think, what you want me to play. I was thinking about playing a paladin. Yeah, see you guys later. Peace.